Hey there, Christian soldier. I'm Duncan Brannon, and I'm here today with your 5-Minute Warrior. Now, in today's lesson, we're going to be discussing what that great military sage of history, Sun Tzu, called moral influence, or what we as believers would call faith or confidence in God. Now, Sun Tzu, in his classic, The Art of War, makes a very powerful statement. He says, "War is a matter of vital importance to the state, the province of life or death, the road to survival or ruin. It is mandatory that it should be thoroughly studied. Therefore, appraise it by the 5 factors." And the first of these factors that he lists is moral influence, faith, the confidence that troops place in their general. So, as we come to a battle as believers, obviously the faith or confidence that we place in God is going to help determine the outcome, right? Sun Tzu said he could appraise the battle using these 5 factors, and he could tell you beforehand how the battle was going to go. And we don't have to look too far in Scripture to see that that's true. When believers were strong in their faith, the battle typically goes well. When they are not, it doesn't. Well, so how do we build our faith, though, as believers? Well, we know in Romans 10:17, the Scripture says that faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Christ. And so it's good to meditate in Scripture. It's good to get it down inside of us, to memorize it and all these things. But more specifically, when we're facing a battle and we're struggling with doubts and unbelief, what are some ways, a very practical way really, that we can stir up confidence and faith in God? Psalm 20 in verse 7 says this. It says, "Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember or trust in the name of the Lord our God." When you face a battle, you can actually go over and review and study some of the names that God gives Himself in Scripture, and it will inspire faith and confidence. Just kind of comes creeping up on you, really. And one of the first names that God is given in Scripture happens in Exodus chapter 15. Now, Moses, Miriam, and Aaron are sitting at the edge of the Red Sea with the rest of Israel, and Israel has just come out of bondage from over 400 years of slavery in Egypt. They've been brought out by the prophet Moses, by a strong and mighty hand as God was working signs and miracles and wonders through him, 10 devastating plagues that basically turned Egypt into a third world country. But Pharaoh still had not had enough. He said, "No, I'm going to bring you back. I still want you as my slaves. You got to keep building all my stuff." And so he took his army, pursued Israel into the Red Sea. God said, "That's fine. I'm going to use it to crush you." And as that happened, as the Red Sea began to fall in upon Pharaoh and his army, Moses, Miriam, and Aaron were singing this song, Yahweh ish milchama, Yahweh samo. The Lord is a warrior. The Lord is His name. The first time, one of the first times that we have in Scripture of these warrior names of God, God says of Himself, "I am a man of war." As a matter of fact, it's just my name. That's a pretty good confidence when it comes to facing our battle as believers, that we have a God who's not just a warrior. Hey, it's just kind of wrapped up in His name. Probably means He's going to be pretty good at it. Well, another name that happens is this one. In Joshua chapter 5, it's the eve of the Battle of Jericho, and Joshua's job is to lead about 2 million Israelites who've been farmers and bricklayers for the past 400 years into a land promised to them through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they're going against standing professional armies, fortified cities, and giants. So Joshua's up late, probably can't sleep, probably spending some time in prayer, when a Christophany, a pre-incarnate appearance of Christ, appears to him. And Joshua sees this appearance and calls out, says, "Hey, are you for us or for our enemies?" And the answer comes, "No, but as Sar Saba Yahweh, Prince of the Lord's army, have I come." And Joshua falls prostrate, falls down before his presence, receives confidence and faith, and rises up, leads Israel into battle the next day, and they win their first victory on their way to claim the Promised Land. Still another great war name for God in Scripture is this one, and it happens in a very interesting place. In 1 Samuel 1:11, Hannah is barren and is praying for kids. And she prays to Yahweh Sabaoth, the God of armies, the Lord of armies. Now, this is important to me because we've looked at this war name of God appearing in really big battles, kingdom battles, empires, and all this kind of stuff. But now it gets really personal. A woman is crying out to have a child. And what that tells me is that God doesn't just care about the big stuff in life, quote unquote, but He cares about the most intimate stuff that's near and dear to our hearts as well. Those inner battles that maybe we can't even voice sometimes, like Hannah couldn't, so much so that she just kind of prayed quietly to herself and wept as she did it. God sees those things, and God cares. So as you face your battles, listen to me. You have a God who calls himself a man of war, a God who will fight your battles. So you don't have to be afraid or dismayed. When you struggle with doubt, start looking at the war names of God in Scripture and let that build your faith. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon. For more wisdom and weaponry for the battles that you are facing, be sure to visit us at sentinelministries.com and pick up the book, The Soldier Code, Ancient Warrior Wisdom for Modern Day Christian Soldiers, and other tools that we have for you.